Hey everybody, and welcome back to Cities Skylines. I'm very glad that you made it here again, and I hope you spent a good time watching this little video. We are here in San Beris. It's already the second episode of my little project, which is not that little actually. And in today's episode we are going to work a bit more in the harbor area, which as I said in last episode already, will be done a few times, so it's nice to see that one, but only a few things of what you will see today will remain as it is in the future, because a few things will happen, and I'm going to talk about those in a few seconds. I believe that I even left the unfortunate occasion or happening in one of the next episodes. But first of all, if you're new here guys and you like Cities Skylines, you like creative games, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because you're gonna see a few of those episodes in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot of things scheduled already. You also see a lot of Planet Coaster stuff if this is also your game. But yeah, let's talk again a bit more about San Beris, as I explained in the last episode. And if you're new here, I would highly recommend to watch the first episode, because this is the episode where I explained what this all is about. But just to recap very briefly, this city will be a fictional city that is kind of located somewhere in Europe, and it's been created out of various European city styles. So we will have different districts that are all built upon one major style, one French style, one Victorian kind of Spanish style, and we also have like a Venice area and also a Dutch area, which is pretty much done after the example of Amsterdam. So yeah, a few things already planned, but yeah, you will see in the future. This episode will be mainly about this harbor area, as I said, and we're going to start with an interchange. That's the one you've pretty much seen on the thumbnail, I guess. And this is basically the first iteration of the media harbor. Also infrastructure wise, I've been preparing a few things that I'll be using throughout the series, like for example having all the office spaces ready in this area, so that the people living in the city have a lot of office space and office jobs really ready to be used down there. Although I have to say, at the beginning I messed up with some mods and the buildings were not accessible. I don't know, it was kind of a wrong recourse setting, I guess. I think it was the D-zone check or something I made wrong. So we are going to come into terrible traffic and job problems later on in the series. You won't be seeing that in the actual footage, because I really cut this out, because I thought, okay, it's not necessarily the thing you want to see, so I cut that out. But we're gonna have those major issues, and I also left this stuff in here, what you see right now, just to explain a bit what was happening here. And I don't really know why, but I really had some serious issues at the beginning, and as you can see, I had some problems with the case, and these are kind of the case which are just props. And the thing is, working with props is pretty nice, as long as you work with them on ground level or just on areas where you're not going to change the terrain again. But with those things, I don't really know why I did this. I thought it would look good, but you can already imagine that in the end we are going to face a lot of trouble once I hit yeah, not intentionally, but I hit the align to terrain option again, and everything will be completely broken. Yeah, there you go. You got already. I just can't talk about that any longer, because that really annoyed everything out of me. It was really, I didn't know what I was doing wrong, because as you can see on the down right side, I haven't got the align to surface option activated, and I don't know what exactly happened over there. So I'm messing around with all these stuff all the time, and it's going to be destroyed again and again and again and again. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that I I don't know. I just can't talk about this any longer. So it's really unfortunate that this happened, and I'm really happy though that in the end I found a solution how to work with it, and in the very end, like seriously, like a few episodes in already, so like episode 8 or something, I was happy that finally the K option worked again. So this is what I used then. But yeah, I think that's enough of me being a bit of a stupid idiot to use this all over the place. So I decided to go on with something else first, and not to bother you any longer with me being too dumb to actually use actual Ks instead of the props that are not working at all. But I thought, you know, since not everybody is an expert out there, I wanted to leave this kind of stuff in so that you are not going to make the same mistake as I did, because trust me, this is freaking annoying to have all of this. Here you're gonna see also an example again of what happens if you don't flatten everything perfectly out. You're going into a lot of trouble with different height areas on your surfaces, and it really looks odd and off. And I'm so happy that at the time talking to you there is this little mod called I think it's terrain modeling roads or something, which pretty much just gives you the option to model the terrain with a road where you have the follow terrain option constantly activated, and the road itself is pretty much useless and transparent. So there is actually no road, but you can use a network piece that helps you transform the terrain. And this is beautiful because you can pretty much level out everything, but just copying this thing over and just create a little plaza out of it, and then just use the align to high option, and there you go. But I haven't had that back then. This is still kind of 6 months old, what you see over here. A few things didn't really happen because I didn't had some mods. I had some struggle with doing something, and yeah, I mean, still it turned out to be looking better and better all of a sudden. As you can see here, this is my little parking lot I made. I cut out all the trial and error in the meantime, because as you can see, I started at the beginning by just plopping down everything to make it aligned perfectly, which didn't happen in the end because it was just not possible to align all of this. And so I came up with some different solutions, which I was quite happy with, but still this will not maintain. A few things of those will be maintaining, I guess, with this one over here as well. This little planter area will maintain. This will still be available in the finished product, so to say, but for now this is only a little thing that will maintain. The rest of the harbor will be completely redone, aesthetic wise, because I was not happy with how it looked, but also function wise there was a lot not working properly. So I decided to build just a few things from scratch again, and I think it really paid off to spend the time again to build all of this again. But yeah, I think one thing we can really talk about is how much this problem with the non-existing case over here makes the whole thing still look very, very odd to me. Also, I'm very sorry for the for the little blur effect. I don't know why I had the tilt shift option on all the time. I found it very interesting to look at, but looking at the time lapses later on, it's a bit annoying. I can't get rid of it really, so I'm really sorry. And also, don't worry about the LUT and the lighting. It was a constant experiment of doing different LUTs and stuff, so it's not the final LUT. It looks still a lot too kind of poppy, too bright. It's definitely too bright. I want to have it a bit more subtle, a bit more desaturated, and also a bit more darkish, I guess. At the moment it looks all too bright, too shiny. I mean, even though the Düsseldorf Media Harbor, which is the biggest influence of this one, is pretty much very nice and bright and also nice to look at, but for the moment I just want to have it that way. Yeah, as you can see, my little test area now, I finally got rid of it because it really was annoying me. And since I was kind of happy with the little things I did in the harbor area already, I started to build this first interchange, of which I was talking at the beginning of this episode. So we're gonna have this tunnel over here, which will be a connection between the overall road and or the overall ingoing roads that's connecting the what will be later on the French area and our industrial area, which will be on the right hand side of the harbor. We're gonna have, I guess it's in the next episode, I don't even know in which episode it is. We are on episode 2. No, it's actually, I guess it's actually in episode 5 or 6, where we are going to have the industry area, which will be on the right hand side of the media harbor. We're gonna have some industrial harbor things going on. We will go have some dump sites. We have all the industry, what's still needed over there, because I thought it would be a nice location. We're gonna have a big train station also for cargo and stuff, which will be placed there. So this is all going in there, and I'm quite happy actually with how that turned out. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see much of it in the footage because I lost pretty much, I think, 50% of the footage. So I did everything off screen, and I was just happy that the game wasn't crashing. So I thought, okay, let's not record that again, because I don't know, I was just fearing back then with all my RAM issues that this won't be happening. But anyways, I think we should talk about a bit more about now this intersection with Interchange. It is kind of an interchange. We are having, it's not actually a highway. Well, technically it's a highway, but in terms of what it really should be, it's not really a highway. So you quite often have this in Germany, in the western part of Germany, where all the old Ruhrgebiet areas are, that you really have highways that are going to go right through the middle of the city. They are sunken a bit so that they are not too annoying for the neighborhoods, but still they are pretty annoying for the neighborhoods, I have to say. But this is pretty much how you have it in a lot of cities in Germany, that the highway is just going right through the middle of the city. You have a lot of bridges and connections that lead to different parts of the city, and the highway is just leading completely through the city. The only change is that the speed limit is put down to 80 kph, or maybe sometimes 100, but 80 kph is pretty much the value which they're always going for. And sometimes you do have some bigger areas connected to it, like a bit of an office area, or like the service supply area, or maybe the industrial area of the city, and there you would have a lot of bigger interchanges going on. And this one I'm going to build over here is pretty much over exaggerated, I have to say. It's not that it would be very common to find. You will find these kind of things in Germany quite a lot, but they are more like a bit more outside of the big cities. But still, you will find this kind of interchange thing in Düsseldorf a bit if you go into the media harbor. It's not that crazy great as I'm going to build that. It's not that big, but in terms of how they use the nature around there and this kind of stuff, it has some similarities. And I wanted to build that just simply because I like the looks of it. I wanted to have this thing in the middle to kind of have a little break between all the city areas, because on the left hand side of this bridge there will be a bit of garden area. So this is also something which is quite common in Germany. You have these small garden areas, which is called Schrebergarten, where all the people are going to live that don't have a real garden on their houses because of all the urban areas. And so therefore there is a big location where you have all small gardens next to each other. So this will be on the left hand side. I just wanted to have a little break so that the transition is not too crazy between big houses and then the garden area. So we have this interchange which has a lot more natural things in between, and on the left hand side we are going to start right away with the garden area. But that's it about this episode. As always, if you like it, consider to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do so, and I hope to see you in the next one, which will be again on Friday or Saturday. I still don't know. I think it's Friday, but if you don't really know when, just look down below in the description, it will be set there. Hope you have a good one, and see you again. Bye bye.